The emergency beacon screamed across 17 star systems simultaneously, which was my first clue that something had gone catastrophically wrong. I am Velkrin of the Coordination Council, Third Minister of Galactic Safety Protocols, and I have seen many disasters in my 400 cycles of service. Stellar collapses, dimensional rifts. That one time the Cortex accidentally weaponized their own digestive system. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared me for the 12 words that appeared on my display screen that morning. Humans completed the thing. Request immediate quarantine of Sector 7. My secondary hearts stopped. Both of them. Which thing? I transmitted back, my tendrils already reaching for the panic alert. Please specify which thing. The response came from Commander Frel, a Mentarian whose species was known for their unshakable calm. The fact that I could hear the tremor in his voice transmission told me everything I needed to know. All of them, Minister. They completed all of them. Let me back up. 3 months ago, the Galactic Council had compiled what we called the list of stupid human ideas that must never be attempted. It was a comprehensive document, spanning 2,000 pages, covering everything from weaponizing quantum entanglement for practical jokes to teaching artificial intelligence to feel existential dread to making a star go supernova just to see if they could reverse it. The humans had signed it. Actually signed it, with their strange primitive ink markers and everything. Their representative, a female called Victoria Kane, had smiled that peculiar human smile that showed teeth and said, "Yeah, sure. We promise not to do any of this stuff." I should have known. Let's smile. Let them smile. How many items from the list? I asked Frel, already pulling up the emergency protocols. 273. In 3 months. In 6 weeks, Minister. They spent the first month building the equipment. I felt my chromatophores cycle through colors that roughly translated to every curse word in my language. Send me the report. All of it. The file that landed in my system was so large it actually made my quantum computer pause, something I did not think was physically possible. I opened it anyway, because apparently I hate myself. The first entry made me want to retire immediately. Subject, Operation Beer Hold. Date, 42 days ago. Location, Human Research Station Delta 7. Incident, human scientists Marcus Flynn and Jamie Torres were consuming fermented grain beverages when Flynn suggested they could generate a stable wormhole using nothing but electromagnetic fields and, quote, creative thinking. Torres responded with, quote, hold my beer. I read that line 3 times. Hold my beer. Those 3 words that had become the most terrifying phrase in the known galaxy. Human linguists had tried to explain it to us. It roughly translated to "I am about to do something monumentally stupid. Please observe and maybe call for help." The report continued. Result, successful wormhole generation. Stability, 89%. Side effects, minor temporal displacement, several dozen confused tourists from the year 3047, and one very angry dinosaur. They brought back a dinosaur. I shouted at my screen, forgetting that it could not actually hear me. I scrolled faster. The entries became progressively more unhinged. Operation Gravity is just a suggestion. Humans discovered they could locally invert gravitational fields. Tested by having junior technician Riley Park jump off a building. Park is fine. The building is now orbiting the station. Operation Spicy Fusion, attempt to make nuclear fusion more interesting by adding what humans call hot sauce to the reaction chamber. Result, successful fusion. Increased energy output by 40%. Taste testers report the resulting energy has a kick. Operation Talk to the Wood, humans established communication with dark matter entities. Entities are confused but friendly. Have requested human music. Particularly enjoy what humans call death metal. My primary brain was shutting down. I could feel it happening. Frau, I transmitted. Please tell me they at least followed some basic safety protocols. Minister, they turned safety protocols into a drinking game. Of course they did. I pulled up the live feed from Sector 7, specifically from Human Station Delta 7, the epicenter of this catastrophe. What I saw made me question my entire understanding of physics, biology, and the fundamental nature of reality itself. The station had been completely rebuilt. Not modified. Not upgraded. Rebuilt into something that should not exist. It was simultaneously in 3 dimensions and 4, occupying space that technically was not there. Parts of it faced in and out of visibility. Other parts seemed to be made of solidified thought. And right in the center, spinning lazily in defiance of every known law, was a perfect sphere of what my instruments identified as condensed impossibility. What is that? I asked, my voice barely functioning. A new transmission came through. Female. Cheerful. Absolutely unhinged. Oh hey. Minister Velkrin, right? This is Doctor Lisa Kovak from Station Delta 7. Yeah, sorry about the whole emergency beacon thing. We got a little carried away with the experiments. A little carried away. A little carried away. Dr. Kovak, I said, my diplomatic training somehow keeping my voice level. Can you explain what you have done? In terms that will not cause my species to spontaneously evolve a fear response. Sure thing. So, you know how the council said we should not try to fold space-time into origami shapes? Yes. Well, we were not technically doing that. We were teaching space-time to fold itself. Totally different thing. Anyway, turns out if you ask it nicely and show it some YouTube tutorials, space-time is super cooperative. We managed to create a self-sustaining pocket universe, teach it basic mathematics, and now it is helping us with our homework. I stared at the screen. My translator must be malfunctioning. Your homework? Yeah, you know, calculations and stuff. Turns out if you give a pocket universe the right incentives, it is really good at differential equations. We have been feeding it scientific journals, and it solved 17 previously unsolvable problems just this morning. It seems to really enjoy quantum mechanics. Thinks it is funny. The universe thinks quantum mechanics is funny. The universe thinks. I needed to lie down, but my species does not have that luxury when stressed. We just sort of vibrate aggressively. Dr. Kovak, the council specifically prohibited the creation of sentient universes. Oh, it is not sentient. It is sapient. Totally different classification. We checked. That is worse. Is it though? Yes. Yes it was. What else have you done? Well, funny you should ask. We also figured out how to communicate with the past. Not time travel, that is still on the no-no list. But we can send messages backward. Used it to give our past selves lottery numbers. Then we felt bad and gave everybody lottery numbers. Your economy might be a little weird for a while, sorry about that. My species does not have blood pressure, but if we did, mine would have just caused a medical emergency. You crashed the galactic economy. We fixed it. Mostly. We sent instructions on how to set up a post-scarcity society. Did you check your account? Everyone should have infinite money now. You are welcome. Infinite money. They had created infinite money, which made money worthless, which meant they had accidentally abolished currency. I needed to sit down. I needed several drinks. I needed to find a new profession, preferably on a planet with no humans. Dr. Kovak, I said very slowly. I need you to stop. Everything. Stop all experiments immediately. See, that might be a problem. Why? We kinda taught the pocket universe how to replicate itself. And it got really into it. There are currently 47 baby universes floating around the station. They are really cute. One of them keeps trying to recreate the Big Bang at like 1/10 scale. We call him Tiny Bang. 47. Baby universes. They had invented reproduction for dimensional spaces. We are sending a containment team, I said. Oh, you should probably hurry. Marcus and Jamie are about to test their new prototype. What prototype? They call it the Improbability Drive. It makes unlikely things happen. They want to see if they can make it rain donuts. Please tell me they are joking. Minister, in the 6 weeks I have known these two, they have never once been joking. The transmission cut out, replaced by a proximity alarm. My board lit up with 17 different emergency signals. Something was happening in Sector 7. Something big. The sensor readings were nonsensical. Local probability had just spiked to 400%, which was not mathematically possible. Space-time was doing something my instruments described as wiggling enthusiastically. And according to every scanner in the sector, it had just started raining donuts, chocolate-glazed donuts. With sprinkles, my communication array exploded with incoming transmissions. Every ship in Sector 7 was reporting the same thing. Donuts. Appearing from nowhere. Delicious, perfectly fresh, absolutely impossible donuts. Then Kovak came back on screen, and she was laughing. Actually laughing. Okay, so good news and bad news. Good news. The Improbability Drive works perfectly. Bad news, it works too perfectly. We might have accidentally made probability optional throughout the entire sector. Fix it. We are trying. But every time we attempt a repair, something incredibly unlikely happens instead. Marcus tried to shut it down and accidentally turned himself into a potted plant. He is fine. Just very confused and suddenly very interested in photosynthesis. Jamie tried to help and somehow became fluent in every language that has ever existed or will ever exist, including languages that have not been invented yet. She is having a very philosophical crisis right now. This was it. This was how my career ended. Not in glory. Not in peaceful retirement. But in an avalanche of probability-defying donuts and humans who had somehow weaponized the concept of why not. I am coming there personally, I declared. Do not touch anything. Do not invent anything. Do not even think too hard about anything. Just wait for me to arrive. Sure thing, Minister. Oh, by the way, you might want to bring a mop. The baby universes just discovered water, and they are very excited about it. The transmission ended. I sat there, surrounded by blinking alerts and sensor readings that violated physics, and I realized something profound. The humans were not going to stop. They could not stop. It was not in their nature. They looked at the impossible and said, "Hold my beer." They stared at the universe and asked, "But why though?" They took every rule we had ever written and found the loopholes we did not know existed, and somehow, impossibly, terrifyingly, they kept succeeding. I stood up, squared my appendages, and began preparing my ship for departure. If the humans were going to break reality, the least I could do was be there to document it. Maybe yell at them. Possibly learn how they did it so I could make sure nobody else tried. As my ship powered up, one final transmission came through from Dr. Kovak. "Oh, one more thing. We figured out how to make coffee that gives you temporary psychic powers. Want some when you get here?" I did not answer. I just aimed my ship towards Sector 7 and prayed to my ancestors for patience. Behind me, 17 star systems were experiencing localized probability storms, spontaneous donut precipitation, and reports of sentient universes asking for bedtime stories. And somewhere on Human Station Delta 7, someone was definitely saying, "Hold my beer right now."